What's up everyone, Steven here with techmaker.tv. This is building a decentralized chat with aleph.im and Node JS part 4. In this episode, we're going to focus on getting set up so that we can actually publish messages to the Aleph network. So let's go back over to the browser here, and I think it's Explorer, explorer.aleph.im. And here we can actually see all the various messages coming across. So what we're going to do is essentially hook up a form, and we're just going to post over here and get set up so that we see messages coming through this way. And then in the next episode, what we'll do is focus on pulling the messages back so that we can show them on our page. Also, I've still got the code from the Aleph simple dApp pulled up over here. So we'll be pulling a little bit of stuff out of that because that's going to help us get things roughed in. Basically, what I have in mind is we're going to get sort of the wiring all hooked up here so that we know that the whole system is sort of functioning the way that we want. And then we're going to look at how we can kind of make it our own. So at first, we're just going to hook into whatever they set up in this simple dApp as far as the data structures and all this sort of stuff. That's the first thing we're going to do. Then we're going to build out a more in-depth chat with WebSockets and this sort of thing. So and I've got a few ideas on where to go after that, but I'm not 100% sure yet. So we're just going to kind of go down this road together and see where we end up. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is hook up some kind of form. And I'm inclined to do it for now just on the index page that's just saying you're logged in. And so I don't have to type all this. I'm just going to copy and paste my login form. And I'm just going to put it here. And it's going to go to the action like, what do we want to do? Let's just say messages. And then, so our model might be called a message or something like that at some point. If we have a model, I'm not even 100% sure yet. We don't need, well, let's leave the text one. Let's see. In actual fact, let's do this. Let's put a text area. And let's call it message. I'm going to give it an ID of message here. And then the message on the button, or the label on the button, should say something like post message. Something like that. We'll obviously do some actual UX design at some point. But let's go back and let's see if I'm still logged in. Right now, I think I should be logged in as this user Samantha here that we just created. Yeah, so we have this message here, and if I try to post something, it can't post there because we have not defined anything about that. So let's go back to our index.js. And again, coming from a Rails background, this is all a little bit strange to me to have all of this in one file like this. And so we may find a way to clean it up later. I'm sure there's all sorts of patterns out there that people suggest, but in any case, right now it feels kind of like a mess, but that's okay. So again, I'm just kind of working my way through this. And what I want to do is, first of all, I know I want to define a route. So we could do something like, we're going to do messages, and then we're going to need to do passport dot no, do we want to do, I don't want to do that. Sorry, just kidding. I want to do connect ensure logged in, ensure logged in. Okay, and once we essentially get that going, we want to get a request and response. And let's see here. So I want to basically say something like, well, we have our, if we look back up here, you can see that we have our request coming through the form like this, request.body.username. So essentially what we have is like variable message equals, and then we could do request.body.message, something like that. And then let's just console.log message, and then pass in the actual message, something like that. And let's go back and let's try it out. So if I post this, Well, now I have to log in again. So I'm going to do Samantha and password. Okay, so it's not going to do anything on this end because I'm not telling it to redirect or do anything like that. So it's just going to kind of pause. But you can see here we have our message being printed out, which is exactly what we want. So one thing I want to just check on really quick to make sure I'm thinking about it right is let's just verify that we have a user. So I'm going to do request.user here. Just making sure I understand how this works. Let's go back and let's try to refresh right here and see. I don't want to refresh the message. I actually just want to load the page. Cannot get messages. Okay, so I have to sign in again. Okay, and now let's post a message and see what happens here. So if we go back over here to the code, to the terminal rather, let me pull this up just a little bit. You can see we have our message and then we have our actual user object. So that's what we want to know. From there, what we're going to want to do is essentially use Aleph now that we know, okay, we do have a user object here. We're going to want to initialize an account with the mnemonics, or mnemonics. Again, I still don't know how to say that. And once we have initialized the account, all we're going to want to do is just post the message to the network. So it should be pretty straightforward, and this might be kind of a quick episode. But let's dig into it. We need to jump over to the Aleph example code that we had pulled up. Again, that's if you go to the GitHub for aleph.im, it's this simple dApp, and it's down inside of the app.view, which you can find by clicking around a little bit, or just check out the last episode or one of the ones before where we pulled it up. In any case, let's look for the function in here where we actually post a message. Let's see, what would that be? Broadcast. No, yeah, it's post. Okay, so basically this is some custom code they have for this app, but this little snippet here, message is await post.submit. Let's copy this little bit right here, this post.submit stuff, and let's just put it in here. So post, everything in the Aleph network is basically called a post. So it's sort of like you're posting to the network, and so it's called a post. Don't confuse it with like a blog post. It's just a request. So they're logging your request into the network basically. Okay, so let me see if I can sort this out a little bit. I'm going to reformat this a little bit. So we're going to say post.submit this.account. So we don't have this.account. So we're going to need to say let account equal something here. And so we have account.address. And let's see. I don't need anything in the body. I just need the message, right? Let's see. Okay, so we've got the body going on here with the message. Ref is this.room. Okay, I don't know what that is off the top of my head. API server, I don't know what that is off the top of my head, so we need to go check in that file we were just looking at. Account, again, is this.account in this case, but we want to have just account. And then I'm just lining all of this stuff up, and then this should have a parenthesis there, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so that's going to blow up because I have some problems in my code here, but what we want to do first is actually get the code for the account. So we want to unlock the account basically using the request.user.mnemonics. Then once we have an account, we need to have variables for the rest of this stuff. So we'll say like room equals some stuff. We'll have API server equals some stuff, and then channel. So let's go pull the rest of that out of where we were just looking, and that way we can basically just make this work. So first of all, let's grab the code for importing an account. I think it's just Ethereum.import account. It should be in the Ethereum login, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll have this.add account. Okay, that's not exactly what it was. So there's a method down here, add account, and then if it's Ethereum, we'll have await Ethereum import account. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is say, instead of let account like that, what we're gonna do is say Ethereum, so aleph.ethereum.import account, and then we'll have request.user.mnemonics. I think I'm just gonna start changing how I say that every single time just to confuse myself and everyone else. But if that works, I'm gonna guess that we get back an account record. That kind of makes sense to me. Let's just see. Okay, and then let's console.log account right here. Account. All right, and then I'm going to comment the rest of this out because we're not quite there yet, and I was just kind of filling in the code. I like to take things very step by step, so you know, I could say that it's because I don't want to lose everybody else, but it's mostly because I don't want to lose myself. So let's see how this goes. So we're going to have to log in again, I'm guessing. Yep. So let's do Samantha again. And not Samantha, Samantha. And now we can put in another message. So message 3. We'll post and we'll see where we are. Okay, let me pull this up again. So you can see we have our account here. So we've actually got an unlocked account that we can use. So that's good. Okay, now that we have our account unlocked, we can basically just grab all this stuff. I mean, in theory, we can put this anywhere. I'm just going to put it right here inside of this. We'll work on the actual design of the code a bit later because I'm mostly just, as I said earlier, just kind of roughing everything into place. So let's go back and let's look at the simple DApp code. I think at the top they initialize some stuff. So network ID is 261. Let's actually just copy this, right? So this is half of our 2/3 of our equation right here, like that. And then the room, what is the room? I think the room is hall. Yeah, I just saw that. So we'll say variable room equals hall. Okay, so now we're set up to, we have an account object, and we can take this and put this here. I don't know why I didn't just move that. Okay, there we go. Let me remove all this stuff now. Okay, so we don't want this dot room. We want room. Same thing for channel. And let's see here. So what is this? What are we missing? Anything? I think we might be in good shape actually. Let's just try this and see what blows up. So save that and let's pop over to our localhost here. Get to sign in again. Unauthorized. I misspelled Samantha. Sorry to all the Samanthas out there. Okay, so we'll log in here and we should be able to post a message testing from Node. And let's post this, and it's probably just going to spin. It's not really going to tell us anything here. Let's go back over to the Explorer and refresh here. And let's just see if anything's going on. It doesn't look like anything's going on, to be honest. And I think I know why. I think it's because I didn't say aleph.post.submit. Okay, sorry, that'd be my bad. And I don't have a good way to tell you how to debug that, except for I just realized it all of a sudden. Otherwise, we would go through the whole thing again and try that a number of ways to figure out what's going on with some console logs. But anyway, so let's try that again. Message from Node. So we'll post, and See, we don't have any errors this time still. Did we have any errors last time? I don't think it really threw any errors, which is kind of strange. Okay. Anything coming through? Still not. All right, what is going on? All right, so now we do need to go on a bit of a debugging journey. So let's just start like this. So I already know I'm good here. Let me back all this up here and let's do some logging right here. So we'll console log the message. Just want to kind of go through the whole thing here. I'm going to look at the account. Let's console.log aleph. And let's start with that. And let's go refresh and just get this going again. Log in, Samantha, password. All right. And I need to actually type something here. Okay, so channel is not defined. That'll do it. So I have, maybe that was already said before and I just missed it because I was glazing over everything. I certainly don't see it, but maybe that's just because I'm skimming. Okay, in any case, so we're getting this thing, unhandled promise rejection warning, reference channel is not defined. Okay, so that's our problem. What the heck is the channel supposed to be? Let's go double check that back over here in the Aleph example. Channel is test. Okay, cool. So we'll just say variable channel equals test, all caps. All right, so let's try it again now that we have our channel and everything's working there, or set up there anyway. We have our room, we have an API server, we have an account. I don't know where the network ID comes in necessarily. I didn't see that in the code over here anywhere. Sorry, clicking on all the wrong stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem like that's involved in the broadcast down here. Anyway, okay, not important. All right, let's just save this, make sure that's saved. We're gonna have to log in once more and we'll do same old thing. Okay, and now let's try this again. Testing again. So we'll post, let's go see if we get any obvious errors. I don't see anything here, but I did miss it before, so let's go check the Explorer. Okay, so now we have a message coming across. So we've got, can't click on that. Okay, there we go. So we have testing again coming across in the room hall, and this is our address. So I don't know exactly what's going on under the hood here, but if we look back at this Aleph post submit bit, so we're telling it to submit on behalf of this address, and we're telling it here's the message, and then down here we're actually passing the account in. And if you'll remember, the account has the private keys and all of that sort of stuff. So basically, I'm assuming that on the back end somewhere, you know, it's using those private keys to verify that actually we have access to this address and can in fact post this message. So in theory, let's suppose that in the user interface somehow when somebody registers, we give them access to those mnemonics. In theory, if anybody else builds a chat application that uses our data format or whatever, somebody could take their mnemonics over to that application, paste them into their app, and then get access to all their previous messages and stuff they submitted, which is the reason this is decentralized, because in theory, if we do this right, you know, you could move between platforms or whatever and not have to rely on just one platform that owns all the data. So that's one idea. We'll come back to that more and kind of feel it all out. Again, this is not me trying to necessarily teach you everything in the world. This is more or less me just trying to learn and explore myself. So with all of that said, my plan is to, in the next episode, go ahead and load all of the messages over here on this page. Maybe go ahead and set up like Bootstrap or something so that it looks better. Right now it looks like junk or basically just looks like nothing. So I got to think about it a little bit, but I think it's going to be basically loading those messages, then hooking up WebSockets, And what we're going to do is when you submit a message, we're not going to do anything on our app. What we're going to do is listen to the WebSockets somehow, some way. And then whenever we submit a message, we're going to post to the network. And then whenever we receive network updates, we're going to push to the browser via WebSockets. Something like that. That's the idea anyway. So again, I'm kind of just getting my feet wet with Node a bit. If you've been following this channel for a while, you know I've really been more into the Ruby stuff and will continue to be because that's kind of my main thing. But I was really pumped about this project and wanted to get into it. So I'm kind of taking on the task of refreshing all my Node knowledge to get going with it. So anyway, hopefully if you're watching this and you made it this far, you're enjoying this series. And if you did, I really appreciate it. And I will talk to you in the next episode.